When y'all try to compare the struggles and experiences of other people of color to the struggles and experiences of Black folk, y'all like to forget one critical detail, and that is that everybody hates Black people. And I'm not saying this to be victim-y here, but the truth is almost every culture has some component of either anti-Blackness or at least colorism, which is discrimination against dark-skinned people. So when people say, oh, I'm insert race or ethnicity here and I don't feel this way, Black people are being dramatic. No, Black people have a different experience from you, especially if they're darker skinned, because everybody's got beef with us. It might seem like we're sensitive or nitpicky, but that's because so many key parts of life are built on a foundation of anti-Blackness and colorism, which means that, yeah, there's an issue in a lot of the things we do in a day. And when someone points that out, it's not because they love being the victim. I know I personally would much rather live a life where this doesn't impact me on a day-to-day basis, but it does. And if you are exhausted of hearing us all the time, imagine
Hello, family and friends. I hope that this video finds you well. We're going to jump right in on today and talk about a topic that is very important and is a must-have. And that is actually a question that I would like to ask you and those who are tuning in today. And that is, why are other races so comfortable in disrespecting foundational Black Americans? Those who are descendants of slaves, those who built this country. Why is there so much animosity? Why is there so much hate? Why is there so much to be said about a group of people by which you don't belong to? And so today we want to cover some of those key points that just quickly comes to mind when it comes down to other races feeling comfortable in disrespecting foundational Black Americans. So if you like this content, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to this channel, and let's jump right in. I want to give a shout out to African Diaspora channel. Vicky Dillard was the one who actually covered this. And just to rewind a moment or two, it appears that in the beginning, and probably about 50, 60 years ago, the only fight that foundational Black Americans had primarily was just Black against white or white against Black. Now, 20, 30, 40 years later, that has compiled into even more races. People who have came over to America to find a new or better life, they fail to realize that if it was not for foundational Black Americans, they would not even have had the opportunity to come over here to reap the benefits in which foundational Black Americans have fought for. So without further ado, let's just jump in. Thanks to Vicky Dillard and again, the African Diaspora channel. And let's hear what this particular gentleman had to say about Mexicans per se, but this is something that is pretty much carried throughout the whole Latin community. So let's take a listen.
I don't understand when I say that Mexicans are culturally racist. They think that I'm calling us openly racist. We are culturally racist, and this is how. Part of our culture is to frown upon dark-skinned people. It's been passed down to us by the Spaniards, by our colonizers, by the people that conquered us, taught us that dark skin is inferior, light skin is superior. We were taught that. It was passed down to us, meaning it's part of our culture. We are culturally racist in this aspect. That doesn't mean I go out in the streets and want to hurt Black people because they're Black.
Right.
It means that our teachings, the way we're raised, is that we are raised to subconsciously believe that dark skin is inferior and light skin is superior. Another element in our Mexican culture is Univision News, Univision channel. That channel is run by white Latinos. The ideologies and subliminal teachings that they teach is very similar to Fox News. White supremacist-ish. They make efforts to depict dark-skinned people as criminals, that whenever they even bother sharing news about dark-skinned people is when they do something wrong. But yet, when they want to mention anything that has to do with light-skinned people, specifically white people, is to depict them as them doing good deeds around the world, feeding the homeless, etc. You get it.
So I just want to give snippets because there's so much good information out here, but this brother actually was bold enough to get out here, and I've heard other creators of Latino and Latina backgrounds come and explain exactly why certain people within their demographic feel the way that they do about Black Americans. And so I wanted to give this as a point of reference for the reason why other races feel so comfortable in disrespecting foundational Black Americans. So this gentleman here has taught us that it is taught within their culture and also inherited. And it's not just the Latino community. This is communities all around the globe for the most part, where you have this superiority for white or the lighter skin, and you tend to look down on the darker skins. That's the problem that I even have with Vivek. I don't know his last name, I can't say it. But he comes from that type of culture. Kamala Harris comes from that type of culture. And so he just let us know, this gentleman right here, Ricardo, that it was self-taught and inherited. So now with a lot of that mindset that has came over here to the United States, not only are Black people fighting white supremacy, but we're also fighting subdivisions of white supremacy. So let's carry on. The second point that I would like to bring out is the underlying jealousy. Is why people feel so comfortable in disrespecting foundational Black Americans. There is an underlying jealousy. And for this, I would like to bring another content creator that I watch. And again, for a lot of content creators, they are bringing out really good information, these grassroots commentators and creators. I don't agree with everything everybody says, and I'm sure people don't agree with everything that I may say, but at least the dialogue is being had. So let's take a listen to Shadowban. Please, if you can, check out some of his material, the Shadowban Network. And this particular episode that I am pulling from is Caribbeans and Africans are culture vultures of Black American culture. Now, I'm not going to play everything because I don't want this video to be too long, and hopefully we can start having more dialogue when it comes down to this. But in this particular video that he's speaking of, he shows proof such as Busta Rhymes and other people within the Black or so-called African diaspora, how they feel about Black FBAs. So let's take a listen to what Shadowban had to say. Bareback.
Burna Boy is imitating hip-hop legendary songs, already remixing them. Who hates being from where he's from? He hates being a Nigerian.
Just being in a place where I wanted to forget I was even Nigerian. You understand? Like, I wouldn't even...
Why did that come about?
Bro, I wasn't... To be honest, I wasn't proud to be Nigerian, bro.
Why?
It wasn't really a proud thing to be at the time.
Yes. Same people who has Occam Haran, who have children soldiers. This your culture have children soldiers. You have war and conflict with each other. You people turn on each other. Same people who sold us. We don't have culture. Yet y'all with us, and yet y'all imitate our culture. Y'all speaking our language, listen to our music, dressing like us, doing what we do. Y'all podcasting like us, American things. Y'all on the radio, y'all being actors. That's American. That's American. So y'all imitate us, and yet say we don't have no culture. If we have no culture, what would you imitate? What would you aspire to be? Who would be your influence? We don't look up to y'all. Y'all don't inspire us. We don't do what y'all do. We inspire y'all. Y'all want to be here. Y'all come to our schools. Things we built. We built HBCUs. Like, y'all sold us in building your own country. Yeah, y'all want to say we don't have no culture. See, I don't blame ignorant people. See, I teach ignorant people. I don't got time to be arguing with mentally handicapped people, mentally disadvantaged people, or jealous people. I know who we are. Y'all know who we are. Then Jamaicans come here and say we don't have no culture when we inspired their whole culture. We inspired all their legends. We gave them ska. We gave them reggae. We gave them dancehall. All they do is sample and loop us. Our culture, Black American culture, have made trillions. It made people trillions. It made people of all genres, all races, from all continents, money, culture, and gave them something to do. People in Japan and in China are getting black hairstyles. They're wearing back. They're crip walking in China. They're crip walking in Japan. They're juking in Japan. We influence the world. See, if we was comparing cultures, we would blow you out the water. Comparing the Black American to any ethnic group in the diaspora. I hate doing this because we don't even worry about y'all. Y'all ain't even have competition. We dealt with the people who are pale and who feel inferior to us to keep us down. That's why we gotta have laws against us and police in our communities, and they gotta keep us down and keep us broke because they women lovers. We worried about that. We have a real problem, and y'all are a minor distraction.
So this video, just to throw a disclaimer out there, it's not to be divisive. It's not to be against other races, other people. If we really looked harder, to be truthfully honest, and that's what I love to do, is just to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. To be truthfully honest, all of us are connected. And I'm not going to get into that. If you want to know more, then you can look at some of my earlier videos from earlier this year, some from last year, and so forth. And I explain how we are similar and how we are related to a lot of these groups that are coming up against us. We have always been taught, I don't care if you are a foundational Black American, that means that your roots pretty much came from the South. It came from the border states. And we did the Great Migration when the South was battling the North, because the South continued to want to have free labor, and we began to scatter across the country. But the majority of us came from Southern states. And with that information, we have what they call Southern hospitality, where we welcome people in, where we will do what we can, even if we might not have it all. We're willing to share with so many people. We have shared our culture. And this is part of the conversation where a lot of cultures have now came in, and we have shared certain aspects of our culture with other cultures. And now for some, they're trying to take over our culture, saying that they help to co-create some of our art and our music and our history and our it doesn't make sense. And so again, this is not to be divisive, but this is to put foundational Black Americans on code and to let them know that everything that may look like us or smile at us are not for us. And so this is why a lot of racists feel so comfortable in disrespecting foundational Black Americans. And I don't care. We may fight amongst each other, but when it comes down to it, united we stand, divided we fall. At the end of the day, we as foundational Black Americans, we are going to ride for each other. We're going to do whatever is necessary, because we hold each other close and we have a special type of love for each other, although we may not get along with each other all the time. But let something or someone outside of our lineage come up against us, then now you have to deal with the whole tribe. You have to deal with us all. So I just wanted to throw that out there. The last point of this video that I want to touch on is self-promoted animosity. And that is allowing the world to see our discord, allowing the world to see us express how we feel about each other. And for the most part, it's not even, we're speaking to each other from a place of hurt, from a place of lack of communication. And so let's touch on that now.
Listen to what y'all have just been saying this whole entire time about your perspective on like Black women and how Black women can't be dominant.
We never said y'all can't be strong, independent, none of that stuff. We just said in a relationship you have to have some compromises.
The Black women that are in that movement are so tired of that, and they're like, all right, well, let me try somewhere else, because clearly I'm not appreciated. Black women want their love story too. Like, Black women want their fairy tale too, but Black women now don't feel like they can get that with Black men.
I agree.
Because of the rhetoric that Black men have against Black women.
And we will dive into that at a later time. I have had the pleasure, and I want to give a shout out to Red Supreme TV. I've had the pleasure to speak with him on several topics that he has brought to the forefront. I implore you to go and check him out as well. He has very good topics. Yes, he will step on your toes, but the truth, like again, I'm going to reference the Lion King, Rafiki, he said, yes, the truth can hurt, but you can either run from it or you can learn from it. And so when truth comes about, it's not going to always feel comfortable. It's not going to always feel good because you're battling against what you want to do, against truth, against principle, against what is right. And so the other day I did have the pleasure of being on Red Supreme's platform, and one of the sisters was on there. It was just me and her and a panel of men. And I love my sisters and I love my brothers. But we just gotta be able to call out when boo-boo stink. And so let's take a listen to this and I'll come back and wrap it up.
When I'm on panels with non-black people, I have no problem with saying, listen, black men ain't shit. You got that right. They ain't shit. Half of them on some other shit, then they want to complain. But one thing's for damn certain, you not about to talk shit to me in front of me about mine. We might argue all day fucking long and never get nowhere. But you ain't part of this community and we are not your problem. So stay the fuck over there, okay? Like, we don't have...
Yeah, I know everyone answer. I'm gonna let Nicole speak too, because she ain't have a chance to speak. Go ahead, Nicole.
Go ahead, Nicole.
Okay, hello everyone. Blessings to everyone. Let me just start by saying that. But I would like to say that we should never speak ill amongst each other around non-FBAs. Period. All getting online, speaking ill about black men to other races of people, even people who have the same skin color as us. We have got to stop that. Because what that does is that opens up permission for other people to speak ill upon us. And we're not having that.
And so, yeah, I stand on that. You know, we can't showcase our business to the streets. Because whether we like it or not, as foundational Black Americans, we are always being watched. We are always under a microscope. And why? It's because we are those people. Whether white supremacy, brown supremacy, whoever, black supremacy, black white supremacy, it doesn't matter. We are those people. We have thousands of patents that are being used today all around the world. We have thousands of patents that were stolen from us and are used today from all around the world. Everything that we touch turns platinum, diamonds, and gold. So everybody at all times are watching us, and what they are looking for are chinks in our chains. They're looking for that type of discourse which they can use against us. They are collecting evidence by the way that we speak towards one another, by the way that we act towards one another, by the way that we speak towards each other. They're building up their evidence against us. And this is why so many people are comfortable with disrespecting foundational Black Americans. Now, I'm gonna wrap this up, but it's funny how on Saturday when this particular stream took place, not even 3 hours later, O'Shea Duke Jackson came out with very similar content. And I said, Lord, this is confirmation that this needs to be spoken of and put together for a much broader and deeper conversation. So again, I want to give a shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. He brings out good content. He is very African oriented. I don't agree with all of that, but that's on him. He is Pan-African, but he does concentrate on foundational Black Americans. And let's hear what he brought to the table.
Kendrick Lamar simply makes an ask in his song for you non-black comedians to stop talking about black women, and that's Andrew Schultz, okay? Now, Andrew Schultz, want to know what he has to say as far as a disrespectful idea towards Kendrick Lamar?
Like, first of all, Kendrick's people and the gang affiliate, everybody, his security, they will kill me. They will destroy me. They'll find me in the street. They'll cut me up. They'll shoot me. They'll do whatever. I'm not a tough guy. Y'all do. But just Kendrick, I would make love to him. There's nothing he can do about it. Just Kendrick Lamar, I would make love to him, and the only thing that he could do is decide if it's consensual or not.
That's right. You heard it. I can sleep with Kendrick Lamar. I can take your cheeks. He can't stop me from taking his cheeks. Now, look at what Meek Mill says. White men saying they'll grape black men openly is extreme, and then say it's a joke. Black manhood, not a joke. I've seen the same guy saying I was gay on his stand-up. My white friends like, it's a joke. We don't joke like that in the black community at all. Now, hold on. I want to deal with this because this is important. It is important because, first of all, if Meek Mill were to say this about Andrew Schultz, do you know how many people from the Jewish community would have a lot to say about this? A whole lot. If Kendrick Lamar said this about any Jewish person, oh my God, it would be crazy. All right? You would regret that. Okay? You would regret that. You would wish you would have never said anything like that. And all I'm saying to the people in other communities, right? Whether it be Jewish, whether it be the LGBTQ, white, Asian, any other non-black community, your community wants to be respected. Okay? When black people ask for that same respect, I don't think there should be an issue. And we're not saying that that other groups don't do this, but you have the people like Andrew Schultz, and the reason why is because they feel comfortable because they're in the black circle. Same thing with Vlad. He has a problem with that. Then when people start wanting to comment on his stuff, no, now it's a problem. Who are you to talk about this? You need to apologize. But they can openly talk about your community. And now you're talking about, I can just take his ass. There's no jokes about taking somebody's behind. Like, those are words that we need to fight now. Oh, you're gonna take my cheeks? For real? Was that what we're doing now? Oh, okay. So now those are fighting words. Those are fighting words. Absolutely fighting words. That's what that is, all right? And if somebody wants to do even more to you, then you just, hey, it is what it is.
Okay, and I strongly suggest that you go back and watch this full video, because a lot of stuff in the videos that I've shown on today, it has more meat to it. But I'm just getting little snippets of it. Again, if you were to watch this particular video, the comedian or whoever Andrew Schultz is, he talks about how we disrespect ourselves, how in certain songs, most gangster rap and stuff, how men call women out of their names, how now you have women that are being disrespectful towards men, and the world is eating it up. These content creators that make content about our particular communities, they are getting paid to disrespect us. And we watch it. Even with so-called Vlad TV and Myron Gaines and all of these other people that are against us, we feed them to disrespect us. And we also give them evidence to make content about us. So of course we're going to stand for each other. Of course we're going to ride for each other. But let's not give them something to talk about. Let's withdraw from those people who are being disrespectful towards our race. You don't have to watch them. You don't have to subscribe to them. You can ban them. If you feel offended, that's what we need to start doing collectively as foundational Black Americans. When you run across something of a content creator or something that is disrespectful toward us, all of us, then you need to report it. And then you need to get online and put us up on game so that we can withdraw from supporting these types of people. It is not tolerated in other cultures. You can't talk about other cultures, women, children, or men without some type of severe punishment behind it. It doesn't work like that for us. And until we start to stand on our own business and be there for each other, and we do need to have conversations, but those conversations need to be in private spaces amongst each other, and we need to safeguard not only when we are talking with each other, but we got to watch out for outsiders that are creeping in, eating off of us. Please let me know what you think. If you like this content, please like, share. Please share it. Start the conversations in the beauty shops, in the barbershops, or wherever. We need to start having these conversations. And we have to start watching out for those people that look like us or we think are for us and are working against us. It's happening within the Black Caucus. It's happening with our politicians. We are fighting on every hand. There's a reason why, but we're not going to get into it. Like I said, watch some of my past videos. But please start these conversations amongst ourselves. And until next time, may the Most High bless.